It's time for our HOA Season 16 Episode 10. Last week on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, a prophet showed up at Lake Bailey to help Cynthia kick off her annual Bailey Q. Blame the endless trays of ribs or divine powers of the prophet, but somehow, Angela and Porsha managed to call a truce. Angela and Shamea, on the other hand? Not so much. That brings us to the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 16 Episode 10 Mediation and Mediation, where the cracks in Porsha and Shamea's lifelong friendship are starting to show. Of course, Angela found herself right in the middle of it, and we fear they might be a new bone collector in our midst. After calling a truce at last week's Bailey Q, Angela and Porsha continued working towards a friendship. Mrs. Oakley also revealed just how much her investment properties have paid off. Plus, Ralph went on a surprising date with a couple of Real Housewives. Keep on reading for all of the tea on this week's RHOA. RHOA Season 16 Episode 10 kicked off with Shamea meeting up with Ralph for dinner. Yes, Drew's estranged husband. Supposedly, he wanted to get her advice on a new podcast idea he had. We're not sure when Shamea became an expert on podcasts, but whatever. The two start talking about his podcast idea, which, mind you, he had to read from the notes on his phone. The real reason for this scene became clear when Porsha waltzed in to join the two. Porsha tried to claim this wasn't a weird way to get back at Drew for filming with Dennis, but let's be honest. That's what this was. Okay, so let's give some context, Porsha explained in a confessional. I want to clear this up. She added, I'm not hanging with Ralph, okay? I didn't call him and ask him to come to dinner tonight. This is not tit for tat. Meanwhile, Ralph said in his interview that he didn't know Porsha would be at the dinner. It's a claim that's a little hard to believe, especially since that wasn't the only questionable thing he said in this scene. After ordering steak, whiskey, and fried octopus, Porsha, Shamea, and Ralph stopped talking about the podcast and started talking about Drew. It's a pastime of theirs at this point, and Ralph couldn't wait to throw some digs at his estranged wife. The messiness started when Porsha showed a text from Dennis, where he claimed that Drew owed him money for their music endeavors. It made it seem like Drew was the one thirsty for Dennis, and he was the one trying to keep things professional. The ladies asked Ralph if he thought Drew and Dennis were romantically linked, and he said he didn't know. He thought she was running around Atlanta with someone else, so his guess is as good as yours. When Shamea and Porsha asked him for details about the divorce, Ralph couldn't wait to start yapping. He told the ladies that he decided to divorce Drew because she allegedly had an affair with WNBA star Ty Young. We're here to remind you that technically, Drew filed first. She raced him to the courthouse and beat him to the punch by just a few minutes. Either way, Ralph tried to make himself seem innocent. He claimed he never cheated on Drew and that she's the one who changed for the worse. He also revealed that they got engaged just a few months after dating, which might explain why they're in the pickle they're in now. At the beginning of our HOA Season 16, Angela introduced herself as a self-made millionaire with a portfolio of investment properties. This week, we learned that there was more to the story. There's always more to the story. Angela admitted that her real estate investments have become a lot to manage, and that she has a $2 million debt from all of the properties in her inventory. When talking about the properties, she used the D word, desperate. She's desperate to sell them. Kelli happens to be in the market for a home, but she definitely won't be buying from Angela. In one scene, she visited one of Angela's properties and didn't seem impressed. There was a pool with no water, a closet with a window in it, and 0 appliances. The house did, however, have 2 chairs, perfect for the ladies to sit down and gossip. During their chat, Angela took a moment to dispel the rumors about Charles having a baby with another woman while they were together. Apparently, that story stemmed from a big misunderstanding that involved a conversation with Wendy Williams. However, Angela did admit that things haven't been perfect with Charles. He did cheat on her, but he just didn't have a baby. Thanks for clarifying, Angela. Angela's investment properties might not be selling right now, but at least she always has a place to film housewives. Not only did she host Kelli at one of her houses, but later in the episode, she invited Porsha to a different house to play tennis. Angela said she didn't want to invite Porsha to her real home, which is valid after what she said about Charles. The ladies played a game of tennis, but more importantly, Angela talked about Shamea. In an unaired conversation, Shamea revealed to her that she was feeling let down by Porsha and frustrated that she had to spend so much time defending her. Angela collected that bone and brought it to Porsha's lap. Top that off with the fact that Porsha didn't attend Shamea's wedding, and you've got yourself the makings of a friendship breakup.